In this video, we're going to talk about solving quadratics by completing the square. What this means is our objective when we talk about completing the square is we want our trinomial to factor down to a perfect square. So when given a quadratic equation, x squared plus 6x plus 3 equals 4, my first step in this is to have all my variables on one side, and so to do this I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. It's also important to know when we're doing completing the square, we want to make sure that our a coefficient is 1. So we want to make sure that there is no number higher than 1 outside of the x squared. If there is, we want to divide that number all the way through, and so you would divide from each term so that this would be 1. From here, I want to take my b coefficient and divide it by 2, which in this problem is 6, which gives me 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then I want to square it, which gives me 9. I'm going to take my squared term and I'm going to add it to both sides of the equation. Remember the property of equality: if you add to one side, you have to add to the other side in the equation to keep it balanced. And so if I add 9 to the left side, I'm also going to add 9 to the right side. And then I can simplify. Now notice, when I factor this trinomial, I factor it down to x plus 3 times x plus 3, which is a perfect square. I want you to also notice that the term in my perfect square is also that term after I divided my b coefficient by 2. We do this so that I can solve for x. And from a previous video, we know that when we have an exponent, we can solve by taking the square root of both sides, leaving us with x plus 3 equals plus minus the square root of 10. And then to solve for x, I'm going to subtract by 3. And I have x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 10.